But here's the caveat that I wanted to make. When you ask people to rate not the nation's public schools, but their own local schools, and here we've gone beyond what other survey researchers have done, and we've asked individuals to identify specific local elementary and middle schools and assign that specific school a grade. We can then compare that grade to the performance of the school, and that's opened up some really interesting research. But just looking overall at what they assign, there's a lot more green on this chart than there was on the previous one, right? Now, this is not unusual, and it's not unique to education. Americans tend to love their congressmen while they disparage Congress as a whole. They tend to like their local government much more than they like the federal government. But the gap between local ratings and national ratings is now at an all-time high. And I think this reflects the extent to which the education problem in the country is still perceived as primarily an urban problem. That it's not something that affects the vast majority of schools serving American students, and that people are pretty complacent, and I think this feeds into the discussion that we were just having about the performance of their own schools. And until we get past that, I think it's going to be hard to generate broad support for an agenda of change that actually would have implications for school districts nationwide, the type of agenda that you would need in order to close the other achievement gap, or the second of the two achievement gaps. So that's, I think, my understanding of the moment that we're in, and the need to change the public's views on this issue to some degree. And that's where I think international evidence and comparative education research can play a role.